What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, the people have asked me to address Hall of Fame, well-renowned trainer, boxing pundit, boxing analyst, and historian, whom I respect, and that's Teddy Atlas, right? If you don't know and you're not aware, Teddy Atlas made comments about me that I would say I stand corrected on what he deems to be misquoting. I misquoted Teddy Atlas and his rant on 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is widely considered the face of the sport of boxing, top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, and is the undisputed super middleweight world champion, and that's superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is now 60 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Now, well, I will say this. I'm always quick to listen and slow to speak. Let me say it again. I'm quick to listen and I'm slow to speak. Now, a lot of things that Teddy Atlas has said regarding Canelo Alvarez's career, I agree with. But Teddy Atlas went on a rant about Canelo Alvarez right before Canelo Alvarez faced off against, it was actually the Thursday, last press conference of the week. No, the Wednesday, last press conference before the weigh-in, the Friday, before he faced off against the 19th world champion that he has beaten in 3-time junior middleweight world champion, now former junior middleweight undisputed world champion, and the unified junior middleweight world champion still, Jermell Ironman Charlo, who is now 35 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'11" and a half with a 73.5-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez beat the 19th world champion of his career against Jermell Charlo that Saturday. But at the press conference, I listened to Teddy Atlas' interview he did on PROBOX, and he went on a rant that, ironically enough, PROBOX has titled Teddy Atlas Absolutely Scorches Overrated Canelo Alvarez. That's the title of their video. Don't believe me? Go look it up. It says Teddy Atlas Scorches Overrated Canelo Alvarez. Okay? PROBOX, who he works for. That's what they titled the video. So I listened to the video, and Canelo Alvarez name was brought up ahead of this highly anticipated pay-per-view showdown. And Teddy Atlas went on to say how overrated Canelo Alvarez was in regards to comparing him to what he says the other champions. So when I saw Canelo Alvarez at the press conference, I asked Canelo Alvarez, I stated to Canelo Alvarez, what are your thoughts on Teddy Atlas saying you're the most overrated Mexican fighter of all time? Now, Teddy Atlas took offense to that because he said, I never said he was the most overrated Mexican fighter of all time. We got to put it in, I put it in context. Well, now Teddy Atlas got offended by me saying that and said that he won't even mention my name because it's not worth a rapper, a bubblegum rapper, because I'm just looking for clickbait. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to actually listen to what Teddy Atlas said, because what I said to Canelo Alvarez about Teddy Atlas saying he's the most overrated champion was actually watered down, because when you actually listen to everything Teddy Atlas did say, it was actually worse. How he says that it's blasphemy to put Canelo Alvarez in the same conversation with 13 world champions from Mexican world champions. He says that they're rich in history, and it's blasphemy and ignorant to put Canelo Alvarez in the conversation with 13 world champions that he's going to name himself that are better than Canelo Alvarez, and that he says that the fans should do their homework on these world champions. So if what I said, that you rate him as the most overrated Mexican world champion in history, And then you say that at least 13 Mexican world champions are better than Canelo Alvarez. At least 13. And that it's blasphemy to put him in a conversation with them, and that it would be just ignorant to put him in a conversation with them. Then what I said to Canelo Alvarez, you mad that Canelo Alvarez responded, but what I said to Canelo Alvarez was actually a watered down version than what you said, because you said it was blasphemy to put him in that conversation. So let's just put it in the content. Let's just go over what Teddy Atlas had to say. Let's just see how wrong I was. And let's listen to what Teddy Atlas had to say in referring to me without using my name, shall we?
Something like Kevin Iole, but there's other guys that they're just not. And they want to spark it up.
So now he started off by saying there's boxing pundits and media members that have essentially dignity, is what he's saying. Let me not put words in his mouth, but have respect, and are honest, and some are not. So he's referring to me, right? Because I'm the only one that asked Canelo Alvarez this question. So he won't mention my name, but we know he's referring to me because I'm the only one that asked him that question.
They want to, like my son says, they want to get clickbait for their.
So now he says that I wanted to get clickbait, as if he didn't say what he said. He didn't go on this rant about Canelo Alvarez. I just mentioned this Canelo Alvarez for clickbait, and I'm adding sauce to it. Right? This is his words.
Article for their, whatever they have going, their channel, their webpage, whatever it is.
So he said I did it for whatever I have going on, my channel, my webpage. See, we're going to use me as an actual person, not an object. So we know he's talking to me, right? Cool.
They want to get more. They want to make it juicier. They want to get.
I want to make it juicier, but watch when you hear the actual rant. I actually watered it down. I actually dried it down. It was more juicy if I would have actually told Canelo Alvarez what he actually said. But let's keep listening.
More hits. So when a pundit or a writer, whoever he was, goes up and it's.
He said when a boxing pundit or a writer goes up to Canelo Alvarez, whoever he was, it's me. I'm the only one that asked him that question.
Thing going all over the place, a clip. And he goes up and he says to Canelo before his fight with Charlo, day before.
As I stated, it was the Wednesday before the fight. The fight was Saturday. This was Wednesday, the final press conference.
Whatever, when he's in a certain space of mind.
Now he's saying Canelo Alvarez was in a certain space of mind. So he wasn't in his right mind, right? You heard him say that, not me.
This wasn't right. He goes up to him and says, what do you think about Teddy Atlas saying that you are the most overrated Mexican fighter of all time?
So he says, you see how he put juice on it, like he said, I like to do. Boxing pundits, we do it for clickbait, but you saw he went from this tone to this tone all the time. He put juice on it. He put juice on it. And I have respect for Teddy Atlas, and I have respect for his knowledge and his boxing pundit. But when you're wrong, you're wrong, and I'm going to call a spade a spade. And when I don't mind standing corrected, you shouldn't mind standing corrected either, as an elder in the sport. Yes, I said I stand corrected because I said he didn't say he was the most overrated Mexican of all time. But that's essentially what he said. Let's keep listening.
Of all time,
because he didn't say of all time. He just said of the world champion, the greatest. He's the most overrated compared to the greatest. But he didn't call out PROBOX, who he works with, that said he actually scorched Canelo Alvarez about him being overrated. What does that mean? They put juice on it? If I put juice on it, then what did they do? I didn't say you scorched them. So what did they do? They didn't put juice on it, Teddy?
The benefit of saying his name, because you know what I said? I'm not.
So he said he's not going to give me the benefit of saying my name because I'm not worth it.
I'm not backing down. I'm a homie, don't play that. Teddy don't play that. I don't back down. But what I am saying is get it right. Be honest.
So he said get it right, be honest. I'm not being honest. Okay, let's see if he gets it right and be honest and stand corrected.
And what I'm saying is I don't even know the guy's name because I wouldn't even take the time to find out because now.
So he don't know my name. My name is Blue, Teddy. You know exactly who I am. Or maybe you don't know who I am, but now you do. My name is Blue. Nice to meet you.
Of my time tells me he's getting clickbait.
I'm not worthy of your time, but you took a whole time and segment out of your show to address me. I'm worthy of your time. You're trying to clarify what you said about Canelo Alvarez because I actually told Canelo Alvarez what you said, and maybe you thought it never got to his ears, but I made sure it got to his ears. And I just wanted to know his thoughts on what you said because a lot of things I actually agree with. But let's keep going.
He juiced it up. He lied. He fabricated. He added to it.
So he said, I juiced it up. I lied. I fabricated. I juiced it up. I lied. I fabricated. Right? I actually watered it down. So let's listen to what he actually said in regards to this. Shall we?
Further wrong, right? That's ignorance. That's just ignorance.
Wait a minute. He just said it's ignorance that can put Canelo Alvarez in the conversation. That's his words, not mine. In the conversation with the great fighters of all time in Mexico. Listen.
Further wrong, right? That's ignorance. That's just ignorance because you don't understand what you don't understand. When it comes,
so he's saying the fans don't understand what the fans don't understand because the fans are not aware and not in tune with the other Mexican fighters, the other 13 Mexican fighters that he mentioned that are better than Canelo Alvarez. And he's saying it's ignorance to even put Canelo Alvarez in a conversation with them. But I put juice on it.
Rating this particular fighter, and I know the tradition of Mexican fighters, how great it is, how deep it is, and I know how passionate your fans are. I get it. I understand. Oh, by the way, you know what fan is? It's short for fanatic, right? You do.
Okay, so now he's telling the fans that the fans are fanatics and they are overstating Canelo Alvarez. And then he's going to tell them they're a little bit crazy for rating Canelo Alvarez this high. Listen.
Understand that. So you're all a little crazy. So, and you got the right to be crazy. You got the right to be crazy and to get mad at me. Yeah, because I'm saying that you're beautiful, Canelo. Cinnamon. He is not quite.
So listen how he's describing Canelo Alvarez to the fans, but I'm putting juice on it. You're beautiful, cinnamon, Canelo Alvarez, but I'm putting juice on it.
As cinnamon as you want him to be.
He's not as cinnamon as the fans want him to be. So then what are you saying? If he's not as cinnamon as the fans want him to be, then what is you saying that he is, Teddy? Another word for that would be overrated.
Out of the mouths of everybody. Okay, that's your right. You could be pissed off. I get it. But I'm just stating again, no bias. No, just just facts.
You throw the word overrated out. What's your response to what Teddy had to say?
Okay, so on PROBOX, Chris Algieri and the host says that Teddy Atlas said that he was overrated. He didn't address them and said that they was putting words in his mouth and juicing it up. Why? Why didn't you address them, Teddy? And said that they're juicing it up and putting words in your mouth, Teddy? I'm confused. Well, let's keep listening, though. Because I juiced it.
All right, no problem. It's
So now, first of all, you said that he's not, you told the fans he's not as cinnamon and he's not as great as you want him to be and put him up there, and it's ignorant to put him in a conversation with these 13 fighters he's getting ready to mention because he's going to tell the world how these 13 fighters, most people don't even know who they are. So that's why they're rating Canelo so high. But I'm juicing it, though. Let's keep going.
Obviously your prerogative to think what you think, as it's mine to think what I think. There's no hating here. There's no bias here. Please stop. I've been around 154 years.
So he's addressing the fans, saying that the fans that are saying Teddy Atlas is a hater of Canelo Alvarez, he's saying there's no hate there. There's no biasness. He's been around for 154 years in the sport of boxing. Listen.
I used to call fights on ESPN where I didn't exactly like some of the people that were in the corner.
So he says he used to call fights on ESPN and he didn't like some of the fighters that was fighting. The fighters in the corner. Listen.
You care about your reputation.
So he cares about his reputation. So he's mad that I told Canelo Alvarez what he said because he cares about his reputation. And he's saying that his son told him that I was clickbaiting. But what I did was I actually watered down what you said, Teddy. Because if I actually really played to him what you really said, then it would have came off even harsher, right? Than me just saying that he's the most overrated Mexican champion. It would have came off even harsher that you told the world that they're ignorant and that they are, uneducated by putting him in the top 15. Listen.
Care about saying things that are not attached to anything personal, just professional, just what you believe, because your reputation is going to stay a lot longer than you're going to stay.
Okay, so my reputation, Teddy's going to stay a lot longer than I'm going to stay. So I need you to give me credit for saying what I said and stand corrected, as well as I can stand corrected for not being like you said. You wanted me to be literal. Okay, so I didn't literally repeat exactly verbatim what you said, but I gave a roundabout way, and anybody that could read between the lines can understand exactly what you said.
I'm going to go right to it. Greatest, when you say his place historic.
Now he's saying greatest, his place historically. Now I said that you said he was the most overrated of the Mexican fighters. Now I'm not comparing him to a Mexican fighter that has 2 wins and 128 losses. We know we comparing him to the world champions, the best of the best. That's obvious. We're not comparing him to the Mexican fighters that are not known, that are not world champions. So when I say overall, you understand what I was saying. I'm talking about at the top. When you're comparing him to the top of the Mexican fighters in history, you're saying he's overrated. That's what I was saying. But you didn't literally say that, right? Okay, so what you said?
State. I'm going to go right to it. Greatest, when you say his place historically. All right. So we're going to go.
Now, I said historically, you said he's the most overrated historically, right? Now, we're talking about historically.
Mexican fighters. The greatest of Mexican fighters.
Mexican fighters. I said historically, you said he was the most overrated Mexican world champion, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what he just said, right?
Some of them are pushing him in there. Listen to these names.
He said some of people are pushing him in that conversation. Now, listen to what I just said. I said that you said that he's the most overrated Mexican world champion in history, right? You said, now Teddy Atlas is saying, oh, we're talking about the greatest Mexican fighters in history. And some people are putting him in that conversation. So you're disputing putting him in the conversation with being one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. If you're disputing it, let's keep going.
Some Mexican fighters of all time. Some of them are pushing him in there.
Some of them are pushing him in there.
Listen to these names. I even put my glasses on to make sure I get it right.
You see how his voice go from low to high to make sure I get it right. And not putting juice on it, putting a little sauce on it, like you said, Teddy, to get the people's attention.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
1.
Ruben Olivares.
2.
Salvador Sanchez.
3.
Baby Arizmendi.
4.
Carlos Zavate.
5.
Vincent Salvador.
6.
Saldivar. Manuel Ortiz.
7.
Ricardo Lopez.
8.
Lopez Jr. Lopez. Raton Macias.
9.
Baby Casanova.
Baby Casanova is 10.
Some of you fight fans out there, some of them I'm going to take a chance. You don't even know who they are.
So he just named, he just named 10 fighters, 10 world champions, 10 Mexican greats that Canelo Alvarez is not better than. And he's going to say, I'm going to go out on the limb and say, y'all saying Canelo is better than them because you don't even know who they are. So what are we saying now, Teddy? That the fans are overrating them because they don't even know who these other guys are, right? Oh, okay.
Take a chance. You don't even know who they are. So before you go nuts, all right?
I happen to know who they are, though. Now, I'm not as deep a historian as Teddy Atlas is, and I'll give him that credit, but I happen to know who these fighters are.
You don't even know who these guys are. Check them out. See who they fought. See how many fights. See their longevity. See how great they were. And
so he's telling the people to do their homework on these fighters before placing Canelo Alvarez that high. So what are you saying, Teddy? Again, we're not comparing Canelo Alvarez to fighters that are 3 and 120. We're not comparing him to fighters that are 25 wins with 200 losses. That's not who we're comparing him to, right? I mean, it's obvious who we're comparing Canelo Alvarez to, which would be the greatest fighters in boxing, right? Mexican fighters. So when I say you're saying he's the most overrated of the Mexican champions in the sport of boxing history, and you said you never said that, and I'm not being honest, then what are we saying here, Teddy? Who are we comparing him to? Oh, obviously we're not comparing him to, again, a fighter who's 30 wins and 156 losses. That's not who we comparing him to. We're comparing him to the greats, and out of the greats, you saying he's more overrated than those guys. Period.
Then go to the modern era. I didn't even get there. Juan Marquez, Eric Morales, Antonio Barrera.
That's 3. That's 13.
And then
I told you he named 13 world champions that are better than Canelo Alvarez. 13. He said, what in yesteryear, there's 10 yesteryear champions, and in the modern era, there's 3 today's time, right? So what are you saying? Teddy, I'm confused, and so are the people.
Guy named Canelo. All right. That you're gonna tell me that Canelo.
He said, and then there's a guy named Canelo.
If you do your proper work and you understand that these fighters' place in history, what their resumes are, if you understand that, you're gonna tell me that Canelo belongs on the top or near the top of that? No.
If you understand, now let's talk, Teddy. You said if you understand who these fighters are and their place in history, then you're going to tell me that Canelo Alvarez belongs on that list? Then what are you saying again, Teddy? Once again, you're saying that he's overrated. Listen, I know how to read between the lines. I might be smarter than I look. And I know you know what I look like.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't think he belongs on the top of the
So you don't believe he belongs on the top of that list?
fighters. Juan Marquez and Antonio Barrera, Eric.
So Teddy don't believe that they belong on the top of this list?
Top of that? No. I'm sorry. No, I don't think he belongs on the top of them modern day fighters.
So he don't believe he's on better than Marquez, Eric Morales, and Barrera. So what are you saying then, Teddy? I'm confused.
Marquez and Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales. Maybe you push him up there above Morales. Maybe, but I don't think so, because Morales, the fighters that he has fought and he fought are just better, and the way that he performed.
So Morales fought better competition than Canelo. He beat better competition. And then you go on to tell the world how Alvarez has 2 losses to Triple G, a loss to Erislan De Lara, a loss to Floyd Mayweather, a loss to Bivol, and he has draws. And then you go on to say, you got 5 losses. So what are you telling the world, Teddy? I'm confused. Maybe that works with people around you that don't like to listen to what you say, but I listen to what you say. I'm quick to listen and slow to speak. So I know exactly what you was getting at. And you do too.
With them. You lost twice, Canelo. You lost twice to Triple G. First time, second time too. I don't care what you say. And then you probably lost to Lara. And you got dominated by Mayweather and Bivol. And do I have to go any further? I mean, that's 4 or 5 losses. If we're gonna.
Why would you say, do you have to go any further to prove your point that he don't belong on the list? You're doing all this to prove that he don't belong on the list. So essentially what you're saying is he's overrated. There goes that word again.
Be fair about this. There's no doubt how influential he's been, that he's been the goose that's laid the...
Now he's going to tell you that he was influential as far as being a major draw, being an attraction, and being able to get a lot of revenue money for himself and his opponents. Okay, so you're saying he's able to sell the fight, right? He's a major draw, but he's not as great of a fighter as they are. So what are you telling the world, Teddy? I'm confused.
Influential he's been, that he's been the goose that's laid the golden eggs, that he's brought massive numbers to the pay-per-view, that he's helped other fighters that are fighting him, like Ali did back in the day. If you fight him, you get paid more. Like Tyson did. If you fight him, you get paid more. No, he did all those things. And I'll tell you something else. No doubt that he's improved. He got better over the years. He did. He got better.
So you're saying that he improved and he got better? Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone.
But to put him at the top of the heap with the great tradition of Mexican fighters,
You didn't even think he was that good of a fighter. He got better.
the ones that I just mentioned, no, that is blasphemy. That is blasphemy.
Let's listen again. To put him atop the names I just mentioned is blasphemy.
It is the ones that I just mentioned, no, that with the great tradition of Mexican fighters, the ones that I just mentioned, no, that is blasphemy. That is blasphemy. That is really, I mean, that is just, again, you already insulted. I can't go any wrong or any further wrong, right? That's ignorance. That's just ignorance because
That's ignorance. I rest my case. Thank you, Teddy. And as I stand corrected with not being literally saying exactly literally what you said, I wasn't literal when you said he was the most overrated Mexican fighter of all times, right? But you made a case to make sure to let the world know that there was a list of Mexican fighters that were better than him, at least 13. At least 13. And to say that is blasphemy, he don't even belong atop in that conversation, and is ignorant to put him in that conversation without knowing who those fighters are, well, then you told us everything we need to know, Teddy. Thank you. So, yes, if you don't know my name is Blue, Teddy. Thank you. And you can refer to me by my name, Blue. And again, I respect what you have done in the sport of boxing. I respect you as a boxing pundit, and you probably forgot more boxing than I could ever even remember. And I give you credit for that, 1,000%. But to act like I clickbaited, like you didn't say what you said, no, Teddy, I need you to stand corrected on that. And just stand your square and say, you think Canelo Alvarez is overrated, period. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.